Hey everybody, so this week I am going over all the questions I get asked as a personal trainer. And let me tell you, I get asked some really crazy questions, but I'm going to go over probably 5 or 6 of the most common questions I get asked. And you know, when I do my assessments and I talk to people and I ask them what their goals are, most of the time I do get, well, I need to work on my stomach, or I need to reduce the fat around my arms, or my back fat, or my butt is too big. So we really need to do some crunches or some tricep dips. We really have to do those. Unfortunately, there is no such thing as spot training. A lot of people think that if they do a bunch of tricep dips or tricep workouts, their bat wings, bingo arms, whatever you want to call them, will go away. And if they do a million crunches, they will have abs. Spot training is kind of like calorie-free chocolate cake. It is impossible. Here's why it's impossible. And I always hate to tell people it's impossible because I used to think it was possible. I used to do the abs of steel thinking, I can smoke and drink, but I'm going to have abs of steel. It doesn't work that way, you guys. It just doesn't. Unfortunately, fat loss requires hard work, dedication, and most of all, what goes on in your kitchen and on the weekends. Because I know that weekends are hard for people, and we may get to that by the end of this week too. But let's just talk about this whole spot reduction thing. You know, I get a lot of people say, you know, I got all this weight in the middle. Can't we just do crunches? Can't we just work on that? And I say, I wish it was that easy. I really, really do. You cannot shrink wrap yourself. You cannot rub magic lotion on it and make it go away. It's impossible. The key to fat loss is more than likely watching what you eat. For more than just a day, for more than just a week. If you want to lose fat, you have to eat differently. It's a sad fact. And if you have to eat differently, why can't they make calorie-free chocolate cake? Because it's impossible, okay? Just like spot training. So don't drive yourself crazy doing squats to try to get your butt less jiggly. I'm not saying that they're not going to firm up the muscle, okay? But when there's all that insulation around it, and I'm saying this because I speak from experience, when there's insulation around it, you will build the muscle underneath it, but you won't see it because there's insulation there. The fluff. And the only way to get rid of that is to watch what you eat. More than likely, what I come across is people either are not eating enough, and we will discuss that later on this week, or they're eating too much. How do you know what you're supposed to be eating? Let me just give you a little hint because we're going to touch on this later in the week. If you're eating less than 1,200 calories, you will never get rid of your bingo arms. You will never get rid of your gut, okay? Because you're not eating enough to sustain the lean tissue you have. Now, I'm not going to go all crazy scientific on it, but we'll go back to the spot training thing. You can do the tricep dips. You can do the crunches. You can do the squats, whatever it is. They're not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you at all. What I recommend is changing the way you eat, changing what you put into your body, being consistent with that, being dedicated to it, and realizing that it doesn't happen overnight, that it doesn't happen by rubbing magic lotion on it or shrink wrapping yourself or whatever it is. It is as much as I would love to say, yes, that's what works, it doesn't. People come and tell me they want to shrink their bingo arms, and I shake my arm at them and say, do you know how long I've been lifting weights? Your body decides where it wants to oxidize fat. And for some strange and unusual reason, these trouble spots are the last spots. Like you'll notice when people lose weight, you see it like here in them, and you notice it last in their butt, in their stomach, in those places. You have no control over that. I have no control over it as a trainer. A lot of people think like, I got to do something about these arms. I need to get rid of this. And I've been told I need to get rid of my back boobs by somebody. Yes, do those exercises. By all means, do all these exercises. But you can pin a million Pinterest pins about how to get rid of back fat. And if you're not eating right, you'll have that muscle, but you'll have that fluff and insulation on top of it. So when the day is done and you have put in 100 crunches and 500 tricep dips and 400 squats and 1,700 pull-ups, know that you're getting yourself stronger, okay? But don't be disappointed if you're not seeing the results as fast as you want to. Because if you're not changing the way you're eating and becoming dedicated to that, they always say abs start in the kitchen. The rest of your body starts in the kitchen. It really does. And as bad as I hate to say that that's the truth, because cake happens for me, you have to realize that you cannot drive yourself crazy trying to spot train a certain area because it doesn't work. So my recommendation to you is to figure out and write down what you're eating. Figure out if it's bad, if it's good, if it's enough, and go from there. I always tell people to keep track of it because sometimes you'll say, well, I'm not eating that bad. These crunches should be working. And in all reality, once you write it all down and you're kind of accountable, you're like, oh yeah, I really am eating like crap and this is not going to help me. So we will get into that later this week, but this is like one of the main questions I get is how do I get rid of fat? How do I tone my arms? How do I have less jiggle in my thighs? How do I get rid of cellulite? There's nothing magic that's going to help it. There's no magic dust. There's no magic cream. There's no magic. If there were a magic eraser that would help, that would be fantastic, but there isn't. So reality of it is it requires work, dedication, determination, consistency, and persistency with your diet. And we will definitely talk about that later in the week. So here's what I want to throw out at you, because this is day one of my questions. I've got 5 days worth of questions, okay? And they may or may not come up, that questions that you've always wanted to ask a trainer, that you've asked trainers. So if you have questions, I want you to post them below this, because let's just say maybe we're going to talk about sweating during your workout, and maybe this week we're going to talk about how much you should be eating and what kind of foods. And maybe we're going to talk about, sure wish I had my notes here because I know I wrote them all down. So that's 3. Maybe we're going to talk about how much cardio you should be doing. So that's 4. And then maybe day 5, I'll just open it up to questions that people are posting throughout the week. Because like I said, I get some crazy questions, but some of them I get all the time. And I just kind of want to put it out there so you guys know, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. When you're going to sit and tell me like, I mean, I could say, sure, let's do 487 crunches, but that would be me lying to you, telling you you're going to get abs by that. So I come straight out and tell everybody. And I jokingly tell them because you know what? That's exactly what I do when they say, I want my arms to be tightened. We need to do some tricep workouts. I said, okay. I mean, seriously, you guys, I have yes, and I work out. It's just not an area of my body that is deciding to get rid of, oxidize the fat. It's just not an area. May never happen, okay? So the hard reality of it is you're going to be disappointed if you think that spot training actually works. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that you doing those exercises is a bad thing. I'm just saying the expectancy of getting rock hard abs and tight triceps and a tight toned butt, if you're not eating right, doesn't work for a whole lot of people. And the people it does work for, we don't like so much. So remember that. Like I said, we are going to talk about how much you should be eating and all that kind of stuff. So if you have any other questions you want me to go over, definitely let me know, because I've got 5 days of them that are going to come at you for the most common questions that people ask me as a trainer. So hopefully I did not disappoint anybody when I told them that spot training doesn't really work. But like I said, continue to do the exercises. Don't stop them, but don't do them in excess, waiting for magical results. Okay? Because when it all comes down to it, it's impossible, just like that calorie-free chocolate cake, whatever I had said it was. So just remember that. It takes determination. It takes you being consistent, persistent, pushing past some of the limitations that you think you have, and being honest with yourself and knowing like, okay, the reality of it is I need to exercise my whole body, not just my abs, not just my triceps, not just my butt. Why do you need to exercise all these? Because guess what? You're losing fat when you're building muscle. So the more muscle you have, the more fat you're going to build. So build some different muscles, not just the abs and all that stuff, because then it will help you burn fat faster. Where is it going to burn your fat from? Only your body knows, okay? So just be patient, stay with the process, and know that if you never get tight triceps or you never get tight abs, your exercising is doing you a million things better than that, okay? Because it's not about the tight toned stomach and the tight butt and the cellulite-free legs and the non-shaky arms or the jiggly back fat. It's about making yourself better every day, being stronger than you were yesterday. So those are the things I want you to remember. Don't focus on the spot training. Focus on training altogether and making yourself better and stronger than you were today. And just keep going with that. And we will definitely talk about the whole meal thing later on in the week. So if you have any questions, post them below, because I could totally do a spotlight on Friday of questions I got this week, and I will answer them if I don't answer them in the rest of the episode. So now I've got a barking dog. So I'm going to let you guys go. And you guys all have a great day. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.